So I think we can all agree that vintage synths are pretty cool. Got big Junos, mini Moogs, like so many classics and so much fun to sort of mess around with and everything, but not really viable in a modern sort of affordable studio. So today I'm going to delve into Arturia and their analog lab and just show off some of my favourite vintage synth emulations. I think this is probably one of the best ways to sort of have access to that huge catalogue of old gear and hardware at a much lower price, and with Black Friday coming up I think they've got some great deals on, and hopefully this might entice you to sort of go and check them out. It's no way linked with Arturia, this video, unless you want to get in touch. But yeah, I think this is going to be a really interesting look at some of my favourite sounds, ways to use vintage synths in sort of modern production with a really nice easy software suite, and I think it should be interesting. So we're in the computer now, having a look at all of the different plugins from Arturia. I'm just going to run through some of my three sort of favourites. So number one has got to be the DX7. Loads of samples, and this can just kind of achieve anything really, and I find it really inspiring with how many different sounds there are. So I mean, you can see I went in here just to sort of choose my 3 presets that I was really into, and I started sort of coming up with a whole track, which kind of wasn't the idea of the video. So let's have a look. So the first one we've got is a plucky string preset. Just like a standard nice little bit of melody. We then add in the House in the Forest preset. All of these I've done a little bit of touching up with some sort of overdrive, EQ, reverb, things like that. So it adds some really nice sort of different textures, and also, as well as not being just a standard instrument, you also get some nice sort of sound design. So this White Room preset, it's good for like some atmosphere. You'll hear that when I put them all together. Swells coming in, and it makes a nice sort of beginning of a track, which I started working on down here. That will stay quiet for now. It may turn into something soon, who knows. So yeah, the DX7, a great option, something that I've loved, and I think a lot of artists use these as well. And it's just really easy to just sort of choose from this huge list and select something really, and just sort of start making. The next instrument, a bit of a different vibe, but is the Mellotron. I think this is amazing, and I never used to get the hype of the Mellotron. I know it was sort of this bigged up, hyped up sort of instrument, and I never really saw it until I actually used this, and I was kind of like, wow, this is actually great. Like, you can do a lot with this. So I think just the standard chord sound, I mean, that's just what it opens up on, really. I did a little bit of changing up with, this is what I like about Arturia. So you can sort of open up really basic like this, and with the 3 little arrows you can sort of have all these extra options, which are sort of hidden away. You don't have to touch them ever if you don't want to, but if you really want to get in and tweak, it's amazing to sort of be able to add in sort of this like saturation, flutter and stuff. And then I also have a lead line from it. A little bit of texture, that's with a different sort of sound preset. Again, on this there's loads to look at and sort of go between, and it adds in some nice textures. I'm actually going to put in a clip of a track I'm working on at the minute here, and you can see a sort of better example of it all together, because this was just very rushed. So I'll play that now. So this is our final sort of favourite one, I suppose, and that is the Prophet synth, Prophet V3. Again, it's a really versatile instrument. You have the sort of older version and the newer version built into one, and it has a real nice range of sounds. So you can see my first one here, the liquid organ, sounds something like this. Now I did use some sidechain compression to get that sort of effect, and that's what I would say about these is you kind of don't be afraid to sort of mess with them and tweak with them. They're really friendly to just sort of start adding extra effects, tweaking the dials and everything, and sort of make it your own. But with all of my different little bits and pieces on here, including this is quite a fun little note repeating sort of stutter effect. So altogether it sounds like, I'll put the drums in for this one as well. It sounds like this. I mean, again, it was just really nice to be able to just open it up, find those different sounds, and sort of just put them all together just from presets really to begin with, and sort of building it up and editing. I find it's a really good way to be creative. If I'm sort of stuck, I'll just open up Arturia, find a preset that's kind of cool, and start working around that in the same way that I would with like a sample from Splice or something. But I think this is just a really nice other option, and a really great tool to have in your sort of bank, because not everyone can go out and buy 20, 30 different vintage synths for the thousands of pounds each. There's one pack together. It's just great. So I'll put a link to the Arturia sort of Black Friday stuff in the description. You should definitely check it out and see if it's for you, because I love it. And I mean, I only looked at 3 synths today. There's a really good selection. It's this whole list here. So I mean, yeah, there's something in there for everyone, and I'd really recommend you give it a go. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope I've shown you something cool and that it's maybe something you're into. I'm still working on some singles and everything, so hopefully it shouldn't be much longer until we're seeing something. Yeah, so enjoy.